Cadillac is coming to F1 in 2026, and everyone is curious to see what they can do. Most people think that the new team should pick rookies, young drivers full of energy, hungry to prove themselves, ready to surprise everyone on track. But Cadillac didn't go for rookies. They picked Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas, two experienced drivers who raced at the front and in the midfield. This choice isn't about raw talent or excitement, it's about something else. In this video, we'll break down why Cadillac made this decision, what it means for the team, and why it could shape their F1 future. Both Perez and Bottas have seen every side of F1, from winning races to struggling in weaker cars. Their experience, knowledge, and skills could give Cadillac a head start in ways rookies simply can't. Let's start with experience. Bottas and Perez are among the most experienced drivers on the F1 grid. Bottas spent years at Mercedes during their dominant era, winning races and helping the team stay at the top. He was part of the group that perfected cars like the W10 and W11, cars that dominated almost every race from 2019 to 2020. But Bottas isn't just someone who's used to winning. He's also raced in midfield teams later in his career, which gave him perspective on what happens when the car isn't perfect and results aren't guaranteed. That experience is exactly what a new team like Cadillac will need in 2026. Perez has also had a long and interesting career. He raced for Red Bull during strong seasons, proving he can compete at the highest level. But he also spent years in the midfield teams like Racing Point, where he overperformed and scored results that seemed impossible. Perez has a history of making the most out of tough situations, which is the kind of mindset a new team will need when the car isn't competitive at first. Experience matters because Cadillac's first car will probably not be a contender straight away. There will be setbacks, mistakes, and probably a lot of days where nothing seems to work. Having drivers who know how to handle pressure and stay focused is invaluable. Also, from a team perspective, Perez was a free agent and Bottas was a Mercedes reserve driver. Getting both in the team means Cadillac has two knowledgeable drivers available to test simulations, provide feedback, and improve the car quickly. That's a huge advantage over hiring rookies who are still learning the ropes. That was an important point, but if you don't also consider their skills in developing a car, then the full picture doesn't make sense. Now let's look at what Perez and Bottas can bring to the team. Both are more than just fast drivers. Their experience allows them to give valuable advice, guide engineers, and help Cadillac develop the car effectively in their first year. Because of their time in top teams, they know how systems work, how to set up a car properly, and what a team needs to perform well. Bottas, during his Mercedes years, was heavily involved in testing and providing feedback, helping perfect cars that dominated races. Perez, meanwhile, spent part of his career at Red Bull during their dominant years and has consistently shown that he can also take a midfield car and get more out of it than most drivers could. This is key for Cadillac. A new team's first car is rarely fast. Mistakes are common, setups are tricky, and there's a lot to learn about how the car behaves on different tracks. Bottas and Perez can guide the engineers, suggest improvements, and make testing more effective. This reduces mistakes and gives the team a head start in development. For example, Perez overperformed at Racing Point, helping the team achieve podiums they weren't expected to get. Bottas contributed to Mercedes car development, making the cars easier to handle and faster over a race distance. Cadillac can use that combined knowledge to speed up their learning curve. We just saw how their skills matter, but there's also a big financial and marketing side to this that can't be ignored. F1 isn't just about speed, it's expensive and every team needs money to survive and grow. Perez brings a huge fan base in Latin America, which can attract sponsors and attention to Cadillac. Bottas adds credibility, especially in Europe. Together, they provide global reach. Sponsors usually prefer experienced, known drivers instead of rookies who haven't proven themselves. Having Perez and Bottas means Cadillac gets drivers who can perform, but also drivers who bring money, attention, and credibility. That combination is hard to beat for a first-year team trying to make an impact. That financial advantage is huge, but let's not forget how this move affects the drivers themselves. For Perez, Cadillac gives him a seat where he can continue his career after Red Bull. He's not just racing. He can provide input on strategy, help improve the car, and bring his experience to the team's first F1 season. For Bottas, it's a safe seat. He's not chasing championships like he did at Mercedes, but he can mentor the team, guide engineers, and provide stability. Both drivers made a conscious choice. They could have waited for other opportunities, but at their age, that would have been risky. Having at least a seat with Cadillac ensures they stay in the sport and remain active while contributing their knowledge. This isn't just about Cadillac, it's smart for the drivers too. They get a role where they can make a difference, rather than waiting around and risking being out of a race seat. We've talked about the team and the drivers, but what does this mean for F1 competition itself? Cadillac joining F1 could make midfield battles more interesting. Rookies are unpredictable, but Perez and Bottas bring stability while still pushing the team forward. The car will probably struggle in the first season. That's normal for a brand new team, but having experienced drivers minimizes chaos, keeps development on track, and allows the team to learn faster. Even if Cadillac is slow at first, their knowledge and feedback could help them improve steadily and become solid competitors in the midfield in the coming years. In the long term, Cadillac is building a foundation. Once the car improves, the team will already have data and insights from two reliable drivers. When the time comes to bring in younger talent, the groundwork will be ready. We've seen why this choice makes sense, but here's the bigger picture you might have missed. Looking back, teams often succeed by pairing experience and talent. In the past, Mercedes didn't hire rookies randomly, they picked carefully to dominate. Red Bull did the same with strategic driver choices. Cadillac is following a similar approach. By signing drivers who have raced for both top and midfield teams, they reduce rookie mistakes, speed up development, and create a solid foundation. Of course, there's a downside. Perez and Bottas are older, so their careers won't last forever. But right now, for Cadillac, having stable skilled drivers outweighs the risks. All these pieces show that this choice is more than just safe. It could define Cadillac's first years in F1. So to sum it up, Cadillac picked Perez and Bottas for their experience, car development skills, and marketing value. This helps the team avoid rookie mistakes, build a solid foundation, attract sponsors, and benefit from the driver's expertise. Perez brings leadership, Bottas adds stability and mentorship, and together they give Cadillac a strong start in F1. The big question now is whether it will pay off on track. Only time will tell. But one thing is clear, Cadillac didn't just pick two drivers, they picked experience, stability, and guidance, which could make all the difference in 2025 and beyond.